you, buddies. Okay, so I'm holding Toma because he's sad. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see why he's so sad. I just felt like he needed some love. So today I'm gonna read, well, today's a story time. Always forget to look right there. I always look there and I'm supposed to look right here and I always forget. So today is a story time. So I ordered my Sum Dia head and, well, I bought it secondhand. And so I'm waiting for, I have one more payment Friday. And she said that she would ship it off on Monday. So I'm super excited. So I'm gonna have another, well, it's just a head, but to me it's like a pretty big deal. I'm gonna probably use Knight's body to like make him a wig and stuff until I can buy him a body, because that's what I plan to do with my Christmas monies. Because I'm like, just get me cards, just buy me PayPal cards for Christmas. Because I'm either gonna get my Ample doll Iris, well, I definitely want her. And I also want to get my boy a body, my Kyohei. Today is going to be Kyohei's story. So, well, this isn't a Wine and Dolly, so why am I talking about updates and stuff? Let's get right into the story, guys. Right? Yeah, let's get into the story. Okay, so this is a story about Kyohei. Technically, he is experiment number 429. Now, he was created in a lab. Many children were used in the creation of 429. He was their first subject to survive. He was almost invincible, and because of his DNA, or splicing of his DNA, he was beautiful. Sometimes it was hard to see his beauty under the bruises and the scars, but within a few days, those would fade, and he would be like new again. He would be beautiful, and the experiments would start over. "Are you okay?" The nurse in the white lab coat came in with a bowl of water, soap, and a sponge. He didn't answer. He just turned his back to her and sat down. He knew the routine. The experiments would take place. The cutting, the injecting, the stabbing, the burning, the acid, anything that could damage his skin would be used. The nurses would come in, clean him up, dress up his wounds, offer him food, and leave. His fingers and toes would grow back in a few days, up to a week. And he would sleep on the bed with the straps and would eat whatever was given to him. And every day they would come in and they would take his blood. He lived in that small cell, staring at the stone walls, waiting for the next experiment, where they would strap him down and everything would happen again. And when he wasn't being ripped apart, he was doing intense training. Military training most of the time. His training consisted of target practice, and sometimes 429 was a target. Close quarters combat, strength training, endurance training, tear gas training, pepper spray training. They would feed him small doses of poison so that he could build an immunity. There was taser training. He also had to learn how to hold his breath underwater for a long time. And once in a while they would let him walk around the facility. Of course he would be cuffed and be surrounded by guards. And they put a mask over his mouth, as if he would bite or attack. What was the point? An animal was an animal. He was made for this purpose, so why escape? Where would he go? He barely knew how to speak, and he was slowly being taught how to read, at least to their knowledge. He, in fact, had learned everything at a very young age, but he just hated to be prodded and stared at, so he remained quiet. Better to stay quiet than to draw any attention for an excuse for another experiment. He always remained quiet and emotionless. What were emotions for anyways? Just a decoy of being human? Humans? That's ridiculous. 429 was not human. He was an experiment, created in a lab. If anything, he was closer to an animal. No, not even good enough to be called an animal. 429 was a monster. The nurses cleaned up his wounds and dressed them. She looked at the small boy. He had to be no older than 17. He sat there wearing only briefs. She could see the goosebumps on his skin, and his face showed no emotion. His eyes were cold. He stared off into the distance like there was something beyond the stone walls. "You don't talk much, do you?" she said. "Nothing." He didn't change expression at all, made no sound, not even a muscle flinch. The door opened and another nurse with a tray of food came in. "Don't bother trying talking to it," she said. "This thing isn't human." She put the tray down in front of him. He made no acknowledgement that there was food there. She turned to the younger nurse, now collecting her bowl and getting ready to head out the door. "It's beautiful, isn't it? Don't get attached. You won't last here." The nurses left and 429 ate his meal. After he ate, he laid down and waited for his body to heal. 2 days of healing have gone by, and it's time for his military training. He put on his uniform as a military commander came into his room. They walked down the long hallway, and the nurses swooned as he walked by. Stupid humans and their animalistic need to mate. He hated the way women looked at him. The way their skin flushed with red made him sick to his stomach. He made pass as a young man at the age of 17, but in reality, 429 was created 13 years ago. Today he was told his special mission was to hunt down his counterpart that had burned down another facility and had stolen military assets. 429 was to go out into the world for the first time using his training. He would have to take down and detain Experiment 710, who was an upgraded version of himself, and even worse, 710 was female. Her body took even less time to heal, so he would have to be quick and outsmart her. This was not an easy task. She was quite cunning. She had the ability to be almost human and to blend in with humans. They had encountered each other several times, and every time she would leave him badly wounded, and it would take weeks to heal. Her wounds would heal within a few days, and she'd be gone again. During one encounter, she told him that he fought like a small army, and she gave him the name Kyohei. He hated that she gave him a name. He hated everything about her, from her pastel pink hair to her frilly Lolita dresses, but what he hated most was the way she frustrated him to no end, to cause him to have emotions. What was the point of all this? Anger. The mission was so close, yet so far away, and he was always a few steps, a few miles, a few towns behind her. His way of finding her was through pure instincts. Her pheromones were different. Kyohei could sense them, even on human females, but there was a slight attraction to hers that led him onto her trail every time. They weren't human or animal. They were monsters. And this monster hunt would take him years to achieve. This adventure kept him homeless, kept him hunting for his food, and they would travel. He ended up traveling around the world, chasing after her, and back to Japan. It was always the same. She would defeat him and escape. But this battle, this next battle, he told his now 19-year-old self, would be different as he followed her scent into the next town. So that's all I have for Kyohei. Yeah, he's an experiment number. He doesn't have a name. She gave him the name Kyohei. I actually looked up, because I like the name a lot. I was like, I really like this name. This is a cool name. And I looked it up, and it means small army. Or it's like a masculine name. And I was like, that's kind of cool, because it just kind of fit him. This is going to be my, he's going to be like my little crust punk boy. And basically he's angry and he hates the world and he hates everybody. And he especially hates females, but not as much as he hates 710. And I plan to show her too. Probably tell more of her side of the story. And I know you guys are like, where does all this experiment stuff come from? Like, how do we go from the green stripes to experiments? Well, there was a reason why Reiko was taken, right? Right? So it's all gonna come together in the end. Thanks for watching my little story time video as I introduced Kyohei. And like I said, he'll be here probably next week. And I'm so excited to paint him. He has a company face up, but I hate those. I'm gonna do my own. Thank you everybody that's on Instagram, that's following me and likes my stories and likes and is on YouTube and likes my stories. And just thank you guys so much. Okay, love you guys. Bye.